Today in Formula One. Formula One becomes Wreckfest. Red flag madness. And the FIA turning Formula One into reality TV. Welcome back, Sebastian here. What an absolutely bonkers Australian Grand Prix. There's so much action, so much chaos and drama, but unfortunately we have to start at the beginning. So Bottas and Perez started from the pit lane, Bottas taking a bunch of new engine components as well as some other components. Everyone on the medium tires except for Alpines, the Alfa Romeos, De Vries and Sargent. Great start by Russell, gets ahead of Verstappen and is in P1 after the first turn. Leclerc's in the gravel trap and Hamilton gets past Verstappen as well, so it's a Mercedes 1-2. And the safety car comes out with Leclerc out of the race. So basically what happened with Leclerc is he was a bit too greedy going into turn 3, tries to go around the outside of Stroll but cuts in a bit too hard and just kind of spins the car and then ends up drifting into the gravel trap. So a bit of a sloppy mistake there by Leclerc, I thought. Albon at this point is up to 6, so he gets past Stroll. Ocon pits for hards, and so do Zhou, Bottas, and Sargent. Lap 3, safety car comes in, and Verstappen was complaining on the radio that he thought that Hamilton pushed him wide at turn 3 when he passed him, but nothing comes from it. Lap 6, Hamilton is gaining on Russell at this point, and Verstappen is close behind. Lap 7, Albon loses his front wing. He kind of just oversteers into the gravel at turn 6. And spilling gravel over the track and bringing out the safety car. At this point, Russell pits from the lead, so he goes for the super ambitious move to pit from the lead for the hard tires, and Sainz pits as well, and they drop to 7th and 11th respectively. Hamilton then comes and complains on the radio saying he's not happy with the strategy, saying he's probably vulnerable and he's getting flashbacks from Zandvoort from last year. And then this is where the first red flag comes out, and this causes Russell and Sainz to lose out massively and giving everyone else a free pit stop. And the FIA apparently said that the red flag was due to the gravel on track. And I really agreed with the commentators on this. I thought this was super excessive. We've had lots of races in the past where we've had gravel on track, and it's not that difficult for the marshals just to clean it away with some brushes, and it's not really a big deal. Of course, this also has massive ramifications on the order, especially Russell and Sainz, like I just said. So short delay during the red flag. So at the first red flag, the order was Hamilton, Verstappen, Alonso, Stroll, Gasly, Hülkenberg, Russell, Tsunoda, Norris, Piastri, Sainz, De Vries, Ocon, Perez, Zhou, Bottas, Sargent, and then Magnussen rounding out the drivers still in the race. Lap 9, so this is when the restart procedure started. Driving to the pit, and there were some problems at the back, kind of with this kind of a concertina formation, and cars just kind of going too slowly, and then others behind carrying too much speed and going a bit wide into the gravel. It was under investigation, but nothing came of it. Alonso gets a really good restart. Stroll gets a poor restart, drops behind Gasly. There's an AlphaTauri of De Vries in the air. He kind of tries to go cut Ocon off and causes contact, and he kind of just goes on in the air. The wheels go in the air. He doesn't get any damage from that. Let's see. So then lap 11, Sainz overtakes Norris for P9 at turn 3. Lap 12, Verstappen's very close to Hamilton at this point. And Verstappen gets the overtake done for the lead on Hamilton at P1 at turn 9, just sails around the outside, and we'd see this would be a very popular overtaking spot. Lap 13, Russell and Gasly having some good battling and he finally gets the move, he being Russell, for P4 at turn 11 down the inside of turn 11. Lap 14, Sainz overtakes Hülkenberg at turn 3 for P7. Norris overtakes Tsunoda for P9. Lap 15, Sainz gets Stroll, a really nice move I thought, at turn 3 for P6. Perez passes Magnussen for P14 at turn 9 down the inside. Light contact between Tsunoda and Piastri, it was investigated, no further action. I agreed with that. And lap 16, at this point, Alonso is starting to close in on Hamilton ahead of him, but he's not really able to get within DRS range. Perez passes Zhou at turn 11 for P13 as well. So Perez is gradually moving his way up the order. Lap 17, problems for Russell, dropping down the order, and he says it's a PU issue, and we see the flames and the smoke and coming out of the back of the car, so not great for Russell, and super unlucky for him. He had a great qualifying and a really strong start to the race, and then all unraveled when the red flag came out. So lap 18, BSE comes out, and the pit lane is closed because that's where Russell parks up at the exit of the pit lane. Lap 19, they were able to get the car cleared very quickly. BSE ends. Ocon and Perez battling for P11. Lap 21, Perez passes Ocon for P11 at turn 9. Piastri trying to get past Tsunoda still, so very close together. Lap 22, Perez gets past Piastri for P9 at turn 9 around the outside for P10. Lap 23, Perez overtakes Tsunoda at turn 8 for P9, so it goes a little bit earlier in the lap. Lap 25, Hamilton complaining about his tires, nothing new there. Sainz gets past Gasly for P4 at turn 3, so good move there by Sainz again, same spot that he overtook Stroll. Lap 26, good battling between Piastri, Tsunoda, Ocon was pretty good, very exciting. Ocon passes Piastri for P11 at turn 9 around the outside, really epic move I thought, really tight move. Then the following lap he does it again on Tsunoda for P10. Lap 29, Piastri overtakes Tsunoda around the outside of turn 9 again, so same spot for P11. So turn 9 would prove to be a really popular overtaking move, really popular overtaking spot. And I thought that maybe, the commentators were talking about this as well, how the DRS might be a little bit too powerful and making it too easy to make a move. But at the same time, like we saw with some of the support races, if you get it wrong, there's massive consequences, unlike if you get it wrong at like a slow speed chicane. So really good, I thought as well. Let's see, lap 31, Zhou going for a move around the outside of Tsunoda. So Tsunoda's dropping through the order after being 8th, I think, after the first red flag. So showing that the AlphaTauri race pace is pretty poor. De Vries was also suffering quite a bit. And at this point, Perez was not gaining super quickly on the cars ahead of him. Lap 34, Verstappen in the lead by 8.8 seconds. And Hamilton saying on the radio that he doesn't think Alonso can keep his current pace up and that he needs to do more tire management, or he needs to make a second stop. Lap 35, Hülkenberg going quickly, so the commentators saying lots of tire management throughout the field, and I kind of agree with that. Lap 36, Tsunoda was tumbling down, like I said, he gets passed by Magnussen this time for P13 at turn 8-9, so right before the 9-10 chicane. Lap 37, Magnussen overtakes Zhou for P12 at turn 11, and Sargent is in the pits at this point, well at the back, pitting for hards. Lap 40, Stroll dropping back from Gasly, so once he kind of got out of DRS of Gasly, he just started dropping back a little bit. So I thought not great race pace for Stroll overall, especially given that Alonso was keeping Hamilton honest, even if he wasn't challenging him. Lap 42, Perez going for a move on Norris, and lap 43 gets the move done for P8 at turn 9. Lap 45, Perez passes Hülkenberg for P7 at turn 11, and Norris was getting DRS on Hülkenberg at this point. So lap 47, De Vries pits for softs. Lap 48, so bit of a scary moment for Verstappen. He kind of oversteers, gets on the grass, and kind of just drifts a bit wide, going through turn 13, goes on the grass and kind of rejoins quite slowly, and he drops, I think, 3 to 4 seconds to Hamilton, but still quite comfortably into the lead, and just gets a bit of grass on his tires. Lap 49, Hülkenberg loses DRS, and Norris is right on the back of him going for a move. Great battles great battles between Hülkenberg and Norris at this point, and Norris gets the move done at turn 12 on the following lap on lap 52 for P8 down the inside of turn 12. And Hülkenberg just kind of goes a bit wide, goes a bit onto the gravel, but continues. Lap 53, so this is where the big drama starts. So the tire carcass of Magnussen we see flying off, and the wheel was kind of on the straight between turns 2 and 3, and he kind of hit the wall on the exit of turn 2, lost the wheel, and suspension was damaged, and So he just kind of puts the car in a pretty good spot around, I think, the exit entry, like the inside of turn 4, so the marshals were able to get it quite easily. Safety car is brought out, and then the red flag comes out again. So second red flag in the race, and you know, similar to the last red flag, I really thought this was a bit excessive, and it really feels like the FIA have been doing this to try to put on a bit of a show, because they know that the restarts on the grid will always get a bit more drama, a bit more excitement, even if it's not necessary, which I don't really agree with. I'd rather them just have a safety car, and you know, there's only 5 laps to the end. Just have a safety car to the end like Monza, and you know, it's a bit boring, but that's the way it should be. You shouldn't put out red flags just for the sake of the red flag. It needs to be because they need to do the red flag, like if a barrier is damaged, for example. Okay, so final page of my notes. So basically we have a 2-lap sprint for the last 2 laps. Verstappen gets a really good start, and then behind him, absolute chaos. So basically, the first thing that happens is that both Gasly and Sainz go a bit too aggressive into turn 1. Gasly misses Alonso, Sainz hits him, spins Alonso around. Gasly goes wide into turn 1, goes on the grass. Gasly then, basically, while rejoining, kind of goes right to the edge of the exit of turn 2, hits his teammate. Both of them are in the wall, both of them are out of the race. Meanwhile, Perez basically just skipped turn 1 and just went straight through the gravel. De Vries and Sargent were also out. It looks like Sargent just broke too late, hits the back of De Vries. They're both beached in the gravel. They're both out of the race. Alonso's is able to continue, rejoins, I think, basically last. Stroll, who is in 3rd at this point, fighting with Sainz, basically just doesn't do turn 3, just goes into the gravel, takes the escape road, and rejoins behind Alonso. Then at this point, the third red flag in the race is called, and basically the cars come back in the pit, and we don't really have any idea what's going to happen. Some were saying, oh, they'll just take the order from as it is right now. Others were saying they'll just take it from the lap before. Others were saying they'll take it from the lap before and then do a 1 lap under the safety car just for the good of it. So it took quite a while, like 10 to 20 minutes for them to sort this out. And eventually they decided to do the restore order, but then do the safety car finish. So this really, the Alpines were massively hurt by this. So they were P5, I believe, P4, P5 for Gasly, and I believe Ocon was P9 or so. So massive points there for Alpines that are lost out because they can't take the restart because their cars are in pieces. Sainz was then also under investigation for the collision with Alonso, and he's given a 5-second penalty, and they tell him on the radio, and he's basically distraught. He's saying, no, let me talk to them, and basically his race is ruined right there. And yeah, they do the rolling starts, take the checkered flag. Gasly Ocon was also under investigation, which is important because Gasly is very close to the penalty points limit. So it could be something after there. As of the recording of the video, nothing yet. And then after checkered flag comes out, Verstappen finishes first. And after the race, Hülkenberg stops, maybe fuel. Of course, if he stopped because of fuel, he will be, I think, either disqualified or he'll be given a massive penalty. If he cannot, disqualified, because that's what happened to Vettel in Hungary 2021. If he cannot provide fuel samples, if that's what it is, but we don't know as of the recording of this video. So, your classification for the 2023 Australian Grand Prix is Verstappen first, Hamilton second, Alonso third, fourth Stroll, fifth Perez plus getting fastest lap, sixth Norris somehow, seventh Hülkenberg, eighth Piastri, first points in Formula 1 for Piastri, 9th Zhou, 10th Tsunoda, 11th Bottas, 12th Sainz, finishing I think half a second outside the points with his penalty. And then your retirements were Gasly, Ocon, De Vries, Sargent, Magnussen, Russell, Albon, and Leclerc. So an absolutely chaotic and drama-filled Australian Grand Prix. Championship standings after 3 rounds. Verstappen first, 69 points. Perez second, 54 points. Alonso third, 45 points. Hamilton fourth, 38 points. Sainz fifth, 20 points. Stroll sixth, also with 20 points. 7th Russell, 18 points. 8th Norris, 8 points. 9th Hülkenberg, 6 points. 10th Leclerc, 6 points. 11th Bottas with 4 points. 12th Piastri with 4 points. 13th Ocon with 4 points. 14th Gasly with 4 points. 15th Zhou with 2 points. 16th, Sonoda with 1 point. 17th, Magnussen with 1 point. Albon 18th, also with 1 point. And then 19th and 20th, Sargent and De Vries with 0. So that's your Drivers' Championship standings. Your Constructors' Championship standings are first, Red Bull 123 points, second, Aston Martin 65 points, third, Mercedes 56 points, fourth, Ferrari 26 points, fifth, McLaren 12 points, sixth, Alpine 8 points, seventh, Haas 7 points, eighth, Alfa Romeo 6 points, 1 point for AlphaTauri in ninth, and 10th, Williams with 1 point. So overall, very chaotic, very drama-filled race. I think overall, it was a bit, the drama at the end was a bit exciting, if a bit unnecessary. I'm at least glad that the order finished the same as it was before the red flags, because I think it would have been a bit frustrating if the order had changed massively, at least for the podium positions, because of those red flags so close to the end. But at the same time, that's racing, and that seems to be the way that the FIA is doing things now. So that's all for the Australian Grand Prix review. I'll be back, I think, Tuesday with the power rankings for the Australian Grand Prix. And we have to now suffer a 1-month break until the 4th round of the season in Baku. Thank you so much for watching. Please like the video if you enjoyed it. Please leave your thoughts below in the comment section. Please subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.